Hi, everyone. This is the Incept Connect podcast. I am John Osberg of Incept Digital here in downtown Buffalo, New York. Today, I am in the studio here with someone who I'm actually just meeting for the first time, but I've certainly known of the incredible and impactful work she's been doing in the community for many, many years now. And that is none other than Kate Glaser of Hope Rises Network. Welcome.
Thank you for having me
How
today.
How you doing, Kate?
I'm doing well in my Starbucks. I'm sitting here with you in this awesome studio,
Cool
so
studio.
I'm doing very well.
Well, we're happy to have you here and all the impactful things you've done. This was a good reason for us to finally connect in person.
Yes.
I have, from afar, kind of taken in the inspiring things that you've done over your career, all things community, commerce, and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
And really excited to have you on today. Again, with that focal point, as always, on this podcast to talk about that intersection point of when you build community, you can build commerce or you can catalyze growth, and for whatever it is that whatever you're focusing on. So for our audience, maybe stepping back and just a little intro on yourself and your path to now, Kate.
Sure. So, well, thank you so much for having me. So I started my career, actually, let's back up to my college career. I went to Buffalo State, I always thought I had to go to like Syracuse University or something bigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
To like be a television reporter, like I always wanted to be. But I went to Buffalo State, and I'm so proud I went there because that led to my journey at Channel 4, where I started as an intern. So anyone who is listening, who is aspiring in college, internships are so crucial. It's crazy how much Channel 4 really opened up the doors for me to become where I am today. So I interned there for 2 years, and then I actually ended up becoming a producer at Channel 4 while I went to college. So it was crazy between full-time college, full-time work, and then also trying to find time to party, which everyone should enjoy themselves a little bit in college, right?
That's
and
right.
volunteering. So there was a lot going on, but right out of college, I became a television reporter, and that was because of my work at Channel 4. I worked at Spectrum News, which was YNN at the time, for those who know YNN, and did that for 6 years. And just really, I have a heart for storytelling. Storytelling really is something I'm very passionate about. And I feel like I started to build my brand then about storytelling, community, connecting all of that together, how you can build a brand through connection and community. It's so important. So actually, while I was reporting, I was also volunteering with Make-A-Wish Foundation. Make-A-Wish is very important to my heart because my sister was diagnosed with cancer when she was 3. And I really got to see and how that impacts entire families and how that really can have long-term impact, a cancer diagnosis for a child. So I volunteered there for 2 years, kind of doing both things. And then a position for marketing opened up.
Wow.
And I said, I didn't go to school for marketing, but I certainly know how to tell stories. I know how to connect with people in the community. Right. So ended up at Make-A-Wish, worked there for 6 years, left to go to Mercy Flight. Mercy Flight is also an incredible agency. Right. They've been through so much this past year. My heart is with them, with everything they've been through, but really got to work with first responders and heroes every day. It was amazing. Like nothing better. Right. And then in the meantime, I started my own brand called Hope Rises and didn't expect much out of it. It was just a blog and telling good stories. And, my first post got like 85 likes, and it wasn't anything viral by any chance, but I just kind of kept going with it. I know the power of positivity and how it's not always going to be a good story, but there is hope in every single story, right? So even if it's tragic. So that was my focus and built that brand, and it kind of went viral. Since I started in 2017, went back to Make-A-Wish, worked another 2 years, and then I left my full-time job at Make-A-Wish in December. Now I'm full-time on my own. I have clients, I have like marketing clients, and then I also have my Hope Rises brand. And it's kind of bringing all of that together and kind of growing this brand and growing that brand. And it's nonstop, but really the power of community and positivity and connecting everything together has really just opened so many doors for me.
Wow. I have to say, that's probably one of the best summarized, intros I've ever heard. Just so thoughtful.
I try to connect it all. And then I'm also a mom of 3 kids. Oh, wow, I had twins during the build of this brand of Hope Rises. So that was crazy. And I just had a baby girl. Well, I shouldn't say just. She's 2 years old now. She's still a baby to me, but 3 kids as well. So I'm a proud mom, and it really is hard to balance all of that sometimes. I really struggle, to be honest. People ask me, how do you do it all? And there's days I feel like I can't do it all. It's just too much, but also a very proud mom, and really children's causes and charities are very important to me. So you come to Hope Rises and you see a lot of things going on with children or supporting organizations that really help children. That definitely is something that's very heavy on my heart, but we do so much. We help first responders and veterans, and we've raised about $300,000 since we've started for causes.
$300,000, shout out. Yeah. Kudos, amazing.
And that's not me raising that. That's the community raising that. And I'm just the conduit of kindness, the conduit of bringing people together and sharing the story and letting that money come in. And I can't take credit for it. It's just me just telling the story and letting the community respond.
Kate Glaser, the community conduit of kindness.
I like that.
Alliterative.
That's a good title.
That is so good. I'm a sucker for alliteration because it helps you remember it, right?
It does.
Conduit of kindness. And so this is something that I've said in other podcasts, and I'm going to call out to the person who I was inspired by on this, but Mark Sullivan, CEO of Catholic Health, once said to me, on behalf of everyone that you've touched, both here and abroad, thank you. And I'll say that to you as well. So, I certainly have seen the work you've done. I've been inspired by it, but on behalf of everyone that you supported, a hearty thanks.
Thank you.
That money is so impactful, so needed. And as you continue to build, that let's get another zero on that over time, right?
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. It's really hard to raise money. So
it is. There's so many good causes. It's like, where do I put those dollars?
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's not for me, but just from my experience, I should say, is just when you had that experience, right? If it's something that's affected you directly, that's usually the cause you want to put your dollars and your attention towards. For those that align well with what you're doing with Hope Rises Network, I'm sure you've got a great base and we'll continue to grow it.
It's amazing. We've done everything from supporting veterans with a PTSD dog. So Western New York Heroes is a cause that I'm very passionate about as well, because my grandfathers were both, in service, and I've had a lot of friends in service. So PTSD is a very real thing.
Sure is.
So we've done 2 dogs. We've sponsored 2 PTSD dogs since we've connected with them. Every single year we've committed to doing that.
It's quite an investment too. I know what those cost.
Yeah, it's between $5,000 and $10,000, but it's very, very important to us. And we do, we've helped senior citizens. We do first responders. Animals is another really big thing that we are very passionate about, rescue animals. So there's it's not limited to just children, but we certainly do help children as well.
Amazing. And that's a good segue. So, there's so many other things that I could pit stop at off air without recording. We were talking about the Chuck Collards of the world, Mercedes Wilson, some of our mutual friends who are also incredible community leaders. I'll steal from Mercedes what she says, having a heart to help is something that is always top of mind for her, right?
100%.
Have that heart to help. And, just incredible. Just again, kudos to our community, kudos to yourself. That said, though, what you touch on with all that focus on children, on youth, and really supporting them and some of the things that our children may go through, there's something pretty cool coming up September 20th that I want to highlight, because this episode will be releasing very shortly after this here recording. And so, this will go out where we sit now next week. But so September 20th, tell us more about that incredible event.
We have a really cool campaign happening right now, actually. September 2nd is when we are recording this. We started our campaign yesterday, September 1st, for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. I think the biggest thing that I want people to realize is that, children are fighting cancer. Obviously, we all know that, but it's still less than 4% of funding that goes for cancer is dedicated to pediatric cancer. We're so far behind the 8 ball. To me, it's really criminal that we're offering, sort of treatment plans that haven't been updated in years or decades. And these are the future of our world, right? Children are. So, and the options that they have is little to nothing for some cancers. And it really just boggles my mind that is a thing. So I want that yellow ribbon as recognized as the pink ribbon for breast cancer. Not that we can't also celebrate other cancers and honor those victims. Everyone deserves to have that sort of recognition. But childhood cancer really is not really well known for September, right?
I didn't know that until now. Wow.
So my biggest goal is to really shine gold all month of September. That's our campaign name. So we don't just have this event coming up on September 20th, which I'll get into. We have every single day if you turn to Hope Rises, our platforms, we are highlighting one child a day in our community and around really the globe that have been impacted by cancer. So yesterday we highlighted a little girl that went through 800 days of chemo. And now she's doing so well. She's a football player for her team. Wow. So thank God she's doing well. But we're also going to be highlighting kids who have not made it. And we have to honor those kids. We can't just shy away from that. So every single day you'll see a different warrior's story. We have 46 businesses in Buffalo that are turning gold, and they're raising money for us this September, whether it be proceeds or $1 per ice cream sold. Really, it can be anything. So any businesses that want to come on board, it's not too late. You still can fundraise.
Okay.
And then we have a number of sponsors that have come on board to really help us. Our goal was 50 grand. We are already surpassed that. We've already surpassed 50 grand.
Wow.
Raised, and then we want to obviously exceed that much greater.
That's amazing.
So that goes to show just some of our top sponsors. We had Berardi Immigration Law come on as a top sponsor. Tarshish Law Firm came on as a top sponsor. More for Kids, which is my good friend Rob Moore, came on. And actually a gentleman out of Florida who believes in Hope Rises and what we do. So he also gifted us with a $5,000 check.
His first name isn't Tim, is it?
His name is Carl.
Oh, Carl. Okay. Someone from Florida
guy.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's
cool.
okay. There's
Amazing.
a lot of good people out
Shout
there.
out to Carl there for that incredible
Carl
donation.
and Tim, right?
Yeah.
So we've, it's really about raising money, but it's also about raising awareness. So we have Niagara Falls going gold tonight. Today's Friday.
Wow.
It's going gold tonight for the kids.
Is the gold that you're wearing, that's kind of a gold too,
Kind of,
right?
Yeah.
Is
I'm
it
going to
kinda
change
touch-
into a more gold dress, more yellow.
Beautiful.
And then we have September 23rd, City Hall is going gold. So it's not just about, like I said, fundraising. It's about awareness, and it's about honoring these kids and their families. And I have a group chat with like 150 families that are all local that we're talking to, sharing the word and stuff. And they all have said what this meant to their heart. Like, yes, we do honor and we recognize kids, but to have one dedicated campaign in September, it's something they've been like sort of lacking and missing. And I wanted to kind of do my part to help organize that. So we are raising money for Punt, Andre the Warrior Fund, Olivia's Bears, and Hope Totes. So what we're going to do is all the money that's raised, 100%, it's going to be split between the four organizations. Next year, I'd like to do another four organizations that are different, and have it be every single year that we shine gold. And News 4 is our media partner. 26 Shirts is our partner. So
Shout
we're
out to
really,
Del
Reed, thank you. He's trying to get the Mafia to go gold. So it's really just about honoring these kids. September 20th, we're having a fireworks show, desserts and cocktails. Thank you, Skylighters, for donating fireworks, because that's a huge expense we do not have to worry about.
Amazing.
And it's just because we've really rallied good people together and they want to give. And that's why it's been so successful. And we're selling tickets, $50 a piece. And that pays for unlimited cocktails, desserts for 2 hours, and then your fireworks show and testimonials from some cancer families.
And the location of that too on September 20th?
Brookfield Country Club in Clarence.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so we're so excited
Awesome.
for it. It's just a way to bring donors together, supporters. We also have 3D pumpkin carving classes with Eric Jones from the Food Network on September 29th and October 13th. That's at Flying Bison. And tickets are also $50, but it includes beer, your carving kit, and your pumpkin.
Wow.
So that's also another way to get involved if you don't want to come to a desserts and cocktails party. Not everyone is for that.
Sure.
You can put on some flannel, a pair of jeans, grab a beer, and do some 3D pumpkin carving.
Perfect time for the fall too, as it arrives in Western New York.
And a Josh Allen pumpkin. Not just like scary pumpkins, like a Josh Allen jumping pumpkin, whatever.
Aaron Allen, that's it.
So you can have that on your porch, just make a donation, come on down, and you can take that home with you.
Excellent. So I think also between the awesome intro, the best I think I've ever heard, and now all these great events and causes, we're going to set a record for show notes as well. So everything we're talking about here, Kate and I, will be in the show notes as always, both on the video platforms and the audio platforms. So all you'll have to do is scroll down, find what might resonate most with you, click the link, and we'd love and certainly appreciate in advance the support. So
thank you.
Amazing. So so tonight, Niagara Falls turns gold.
And we have families going down there. I have a family driving in from PA to see it, because it's not just about Western New York. I mean, there's families that Niagara Falls is the wonder of the world. I think it's still a wonder.
Yeah, it's one of the 7.
So for us, it might seem so like, oh, it's Niagara Falls, no big deal. But these families that say, oh my gosh, it's turning gold for pediatric cancer. My son fought cancer. Let's go honor him at the falls. So that'll be tonight at 10 o'clock.
Well, thanks for making the time too on the same day of all this happening. I mean,
it's okay.
It's amazing.
Later on today.
Yeah, it's
no
perfect. I totally feel too. You mentioned earlier in your intro, Kate, just trying to balance, right? That word balance and all these different things: personal, professional, communal. It certainly isn't easy. not that it matters kind of for me, but like something that I'd be curious to get your thoughts on are, there's a phrase that I use. It's a quote kind of. It's remove judgment of yourself and others. Sorry, give grace. Excuse me. So let me step back. Give grace and then remove judgment of yourself and others, right? So grace to yourself, grace to those around you, but also then the judgment. It's not necessarily fully relevant to this, but the grace piece, I think, maybe we highlight is something that's so important because I myself, I'll speak from experience, I want to support a lot, and sometimes I find myself having to defer on invitations to chair boards or committees or fundraisers because there's only so much to go around. But again, it goes back to the beginning, like that experience when there's a family that's been touched by cancer. It's a visceral reaction, right? So I'd be curious to get your thoughts on any of that.
It's super hard. I have, because we're so global and because we're so viral, we have a lot of messages come through. Like, can you help this? Can you help this? It's very overwhelming. And I have to say no a lot because there's no way we could. I mean, I'm not a full team. I'm not a full company. It's really myself and my husband that helps me and we have volunteers. But, we are a nonprofit and we're also a storytelling business. So like, any money that comes into us, we push it right back out. So it's not like we're not able to handle every single request that comes through. But like you said, we have to give grace to ourselves because a lot of times I feel really guilty about not being able to help every single thing. But I also have to worry about myself and my mental health and making sure that I have the capacity in my brain or physically to take on what I'm taking on. This Shine Gold campaign has been such a time suck,
I can imagine.
But I'm not regretting it at all. I'm very, very happy to do it. It's a cause I'm very passionate about, like I said, but the amount of hours and manpower and just knowledge going into it, it's crazy. For someone who doesn't run events, or my husband never was involved in events, he's like, this is insane how many steps you have to take. But
so much respect for event coordinators.
Yeah, I know,
so
right?
Much.
It's okay though, because there are certain causes that we get behind every single year and we support that. So we just take on as much as we can. Like I said, I have to give myself more grace at times because I want to do more than I can, but sometimes you have to take a step back.
It's so well said, and to be additive, it's another cliche, if you will, but that the glass half full, half empty thing, right? And it's not even necessarily that. You have to have something in your cup to give, right? So if my water's down here, right, visually speaking, I don't have enough, analogously speaking, to give to others, right? But if I have a fuller cup, then I have more chance to give, and that goes back, like you said, to the mental health, the recovery, the rest. And giving yourself grace. So there's some really golden nuggets, gold, right? It's perfect. There's some golden nuggets in what Kate has said because
and also a really good example that I just actually worked with a woman named Roz Hill. I don't know if you know Roz. She's on the east side. She runs Every Bottom Covered. And we actually, right after the top shooting, we wanted to do our part to do something. And frankly, I had to open my eyes to not doing something sooner and how guilty I felt about that, about all the causes we've helped, and I hadn't been impacting that neighborhood or that sort of community. So I actually met Roz Hill a couple of years ago, and she collects diapers and feminine hygiene products and formula for not just families in Buffalo, but also Allegheny County and different counties that need the support. And we had a very open conversation because she knew so many of those victims. So first and foremost, there was no time for healing there for her because she personally knew those who were victims of the top shooting. But then she also had to spring into action and to do her part because there were people contacting her. Do you have diapers? Do you have feminine hygiene products? So we got involved, and I had a number of partners. Buffalo Balloon Co. Lydia Dominic was one of our partners. Delta Sonic, Highmark, Blue Cross Blue Shield, amazing people over there. So we got together, we did a big diaper drive, and we collected a ton of diapers. But the most beautiful thing that came out of it was just talking to Roz and how, you have to take time to have healing for yourself. When you get involved in so many of these crazy and amazing projects, but you see what people are going through, that can really be hard on your heart, and it can be hard for you. So we had a very open conversation about how she needed time to heal. I needed time to kind of process what I'd been through. Not that I wasn't going through anything that she was going through. She was going through so much more than I was. But just to see how she was able to give me a gift of like talking with me about how we all need time to heal and to rest our minds and our bodies, and then we can be better in the future. So a perfect example of something that just like came up a couple of months ago when we helped with the diaper drive and how if you don't know Roz, you need to meet her, have her on your podcast. She is incredible. She started this diaper bank way before anyone was even in that neighborhood helping. She really was boots on the ground from the East Side, really starting her own diaper bank, and now she's doing so much more. But that was a great conversation that she really gifted to me when I needed it.
That's amazing. And every bottom covered, digitally speaking, and they have any presence?
Okay, Facebook,
Share it on the show
Every
notes.
Bottom Covered is amazing. And if you're looking for something to support, they definitely are a great organization to really look into.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that'll also go in the show notes. Thanks for sharing that little tidbit there too. May 14 is going on 4 months ago, but certainly,
it seems like so much longer ago, doesn't it?
And it's amazing too. As a quick sidebar, I was having a conversation with someone yesterday about how easy it is for us to, not to say this what happened that day is forgettable, but just life can really beat us up. It gets fast and it gets overwhelming at times to the same theme that we're covering here. And even if it's just like a sports injury, right, where you went 3 months with some form of an injury, a knee injury, say, in the moment it's so painful, and it's like, man, I just wish I was healthy again. And then you finally recover from it, and a week later you almost forget you had the injury.
I know.
And that's kind of what life does. It's so fast moving, and that's where meditation, mindfulness, journaling, having that practice, reading, speaking to friends and mentors, I think helps us kind of stay in the power of the now, right in the moment. So just amazing though, what you're doing. So I think there's been a lot of golden nuggets here. Keep using that golden nuggets. I would the penultimate question is right here, and that is, you've got aspiring, whether they're aspiring or current entrepreneurs, right? Because you're an entrepreneur, you're a mompreneur, you are a community builder, you're a connector, a conduit, as we said, a conduit of kindness. What might you say to these folks that are watching and listening to them that could be impactful for them in their journey as they continue to grow and maybe build something, whether it's an organization, a company, a cause, whatever? What might you impart on them in kind of this second to last question?
I would just say stay true to yourself and your brand and really remain consistent. That is one thing. You can't just expect to grow overnight. It requires a lot of consistency and getting to know people. And like you said, community is so important when it comes to building a brand or a business. It's really connecting with people, making sure that you kind of are on their level and remaining consistent, working really hard. I mean, there's so many days that I'm up until 1 a.m. working. And that's like, it is what it is. I mean, there's days that I'm able to take off and be with my kids all day. And it's really a balance. But I think the biggest thing is remaining true to yourself and your brand, making sure that you really think about personal branding as well. It's not just Hope Rises, but it's also my personal Glaser brand and how I have to put myself out there in the community and really share what I'm doing. It's not bad to share what you're doing. You always should be sharing. It's never bragging.
No.
It's always good to really share what you're doing, how you're connecting with people, how you can celebrate other people as well when you share. So I think that would just be it, and just really devoting yourself to your brand, your business, and believing in yourself. I think that's also just super simple, but super important.
It's so well said. And there's a famous Les Brown quote, and even I think Will Smith might say it too, some of these more famous notables or whatever. You have to first believe in it or yourself for others to believe in it or yourself, right? So if you don't believe in yourself first, very powerful, very powerful.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
So true.
Lastly, where do we connect? Where do we find you?
Yeah, so our biggest connection point is on Instagram. You can find us at Hope Rises Network. We also have our website at hoperisesnews.com. On Facebook, LinkedIn, we are all up there. You can look up Kate Glaser, or you can look us up under Hope Rises. And we are on Channel 4 every Friday. Thank you, M&T Bank, for sponsoring us for a full year. And we are on there every Friday between the 8 and 9 a.m. hour. We share good stories. We share about good people doing good work. So we're just super excited to be here. We also had a recent article in Women's Day magazine, a recent spread.
Amazing.
Which it's no longer on the shelves, but it's just something that we were just so grateful to have because it gave us the opportunity to have our brand in this top women's magazine, and they had found us on Instagram. So I'm just super grateful for what's to come, what we've been through, and always connect with me on social. Would love to hear from you. Right
on. Attitude of Gratitude. Tonight, the falls. That's again, it's gonna still be aired days later, but it'll turn gold tonight. City Hall, the 23rd.
September 23rd, yeah.
23rd, all right. Recall still there. And then the 20th, of course, with this Shine Gold event. Everything will be linked up. A lot of links in there. Again, just thanks, Kate, for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for what you do and for your time, and good luck this evening. And looking forward to releasing this, and then also to the 20th event, the September 20th event. Excuse me. I will be there, and I'll bring some folks with me too. So
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks for
I appreciate it.
This is another Incept Connect podcast, all things community and commerce. We'll see you on the next show.